Welcome back, folks, and thank you so much for joining us on the first day of your weekend for our daily English news edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, presenting a translated version of today's top news stories right here on OR News at 6 p.m. A meeting was called today between business representatives and members of the government to discuss the problems in the operation against informality. Prime Minister Rama was critical of the media, saying that they are against the operation against informality because they are trying to defend the informality of their own businesses. Mr. Rama stated that informality does not help the poor, but polarizes the economy and does not allow fair competition. He said, "Informal economy is a cancer and it must be fought aggressively. Informality does not allow fair competition and creates poor services. First of all, it harms the poor and does not allow them to strengthen their position. Informality enriches a small group of people and brings the dissolution of the state." The Prime Minister went on to say that the registration of a business is an easy procedure and that the online application has made it even more so. Representatives of the government and the business sector had a discussion today on the problems of the operation against informality, which was launched by the government on September 1st. The head of the Albanian Chamber of Commerce declared that businesses are being pushed toward bankruptcy because of the repressive measures imposed by the government. Mr. Yakai blamed the administration for the high level of informality. On the other side, the Minister of Finance argued that anyone who does business must follow all the laws. The formalization of the agricultural sector was another key point of the meeting. The head of the Albanian agribusiness accused the administration of abusing the funds for registering agricultural businesses. The Minister of Finance responded by saying that all the structures are committed to finishing the process of formalizing agriculture. Since September 1st, when the government initially launched the operation against informality, there has been an outcry from the business sector over the tough measures that are being imposed in order to formalize the economy. The Democratic chairman Lulzim Basha has said that the government's presentation of the data from the operation against informality was nothing but a show organized by Edi Rama. In a media statement today, the Democratic leader accused the government of hiding their theft from the citizens in a style worthy of the mafia. He said, "Every time there is a drug scandal or corruption, Prime Minister Rama organizes a show just like the one he put on today for 3 hours. After showing off the successes of the operation against informality, he told the Albanians that the repression of businesses will continue. $231 million are missing from the state budget, and the tax and customs directories showed a deficit of $35 million just in September. $1 million per day has been stolen in the month against informality. October's deep financial loss will soon be made public, despite the efforts to cover the theft of these oligarchs, who are headed by Edi Rama," said Mr. Basha. He went on to say that the money being stolen from the citizens is being used for corrupt tenders. Mr. Basha called the citizens to rise up and protest against the government. He continued, "Let's bring this system to an end. Altogether, we can change this decaying regime and remove the biggest thief from the government." When asked about the preliminary elections in Albania, Mr. Basha had this to say, "If you think that elections are my only concern, you are wrong. The people will determine the time of the elections." During his visit to the USA, the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta held meetings with the Vice President of the World Bank for Central Europe and the World Bank Executive Director for the Balkan region. Vice President Muller considered Albania to be an important partner for the World Bank, a partner that has made steady progress over the recent years. Muller expressed his belief that the relations between Albania and the World Bank will be deepened in the coming years. Meta and Muller discussed the progress of some existing projects in transportation and energy and spoke about the need to finalize these projects as soon as possible. They also talked about the expense of cooperation and several new projects that will boost the country's economy. Mr. Meta praised the increase of cooperation between the Assembly and the World Bank, especially in transparency and accountability. He also highlighted the need to deepen the reforms in sensitive areas of the economy. In his meeting with the executive director for the region, Meta discussed Albania's water sources agricultural issues, and environmental issues. He commented on the World Bank report Doing Business, saying that the Albanian government is taking all the necessary steps to address the problems mentioned in the report. They also discussed the possibility of cooperation in fields such as energy, which would have a positive effect on the economy in Albania and the rest of the Western Balkans. The government plans to make a change in property tax in the fiscal package for the coming year. Property taxes will have to be paid according to established city categories. For instance, in large cities such as Tirana, Durrës, Fier, Vlora, Elbasan, and Korça, the tax will be 5,600 lek per hectare of land, while for small cities, the tax will be only 1,400 lek per hectare. This change is in accordance with the law on territory adjustment. There will be 4 categories, and the taxes per hectare of land will range from 5,600 lek at the highest to 1,400 lek at the lowest. The two middle categories will be 4,200 lek and 2,800 lek per hectare. The Ministry of Finance predicts that this new system will bring in about 180 million lek based on 50,000 hectares of land. The experts have raised the concern of violating individual rights to privacy after a new bill proposed by the Interior Minister that would equip mandatory cameras in all buildings, schools, and public transportation vehicles. In an interview with Ora News, the criminologist Fabian Gila expressed his concern that the bill will violate privacy rights and that it may become a form of blackmail if the necessary adjustments are not made. Meanwhile, some of the citizens have expressed their support for the initiative, seeing it as a way to increase security near their homes. Others said that they were concerned about cameras monitoring them 24 hours a day. The bill is expected to pass to the Parliament for review. It will obligate all businesses with an income of more than 10 million lek per year to equip their facilities with security cameras. Taxis, buses, facilities that can hold more than 50 people, and public institutions like kindergartens and schools will all be equipped with mandatory video surveillance. That concludes our edition for this evening. Thank you for watching. Please join us again on Monday for more translated news in English. Thanks, and have a great weekend.